Everybody, and welcome to the channel and to the Ultimate Racing League. This is our 1 versus 1 man against man round 4. We've got a couple of replays to show you that took place during the week, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go straight over and start the live races. Now I'm just going to hang on just for a second just to make sure that we are actually broadcasting like normal. I don't want to sit here talking to myself, so if you can all just bear with me for 1 minute just while I double check everything, unless anybody is actually watching, and if they are, then they can give me the thumbs up to let me know what's going on. And I'm trying to watch on my phone and trying to do lots of different things all at the same time. I've lost my button. Oh, sorry about this if you are watching. I just want to make sure that all is good. And yes, I think we are live. So yes, apologies for that. Oh, it says 2 watching, so apologies for that. Right, we can get on with it now. Okay, 1v1. I'm just going to show you a couple of replays from during the week that couldn't take place last weekend. So we're going to do those first, and then we're going to go over and we're going to join Oz in the lobby for the live races. So I'll get on with these replays. Then I suggest you go and get yourself a drink, get your favourite snacks, get onto the get the aircon on, because it is going to get hot in here. The racing is going to be fantastic. We are getting near to the latter stages of this 1v1, and it has been awesome so far, and it's only going to get better. So let's crack on with this one. As you can see, we are at Interlagos in Brazil. We are in the Aston Martin, and it is Paul against Harry Poppins for their first round race. Now I think these guys took part in a prelim race. This is their first round race, or how I understand it anyway. So the guys have been out, they've done a couple of laps to get used to the car, so I'm going to let them crack on with it. So it is Paul E72 against Harry Poppins. Paul is in League 1. Harry Poppins has just moved up into League 3, I believe, as Paul gets a great start and gets into turn 1 into the Senna S's for the first time, and he is leading Harry Poppins along, both in the same livery. So whether they've had a chat with each other beforehand, I don't know, but they're both in the Draper Tools livery, and the cars are looking absolutely fantastic. Paul done 2,300 miles in his. Harry Poppins has only done 184, but has pulled off a fantastic move as they go through turns 4 and 5, and Harry Poppins has got himself into the lead, and he's now taking Paul with him along up to turn 6. Now this is a 5-lap race. Anything can happen. We've seen that before. As Paul is fighting back, he's coming back at Harry Poppins now. Then Fraser hand waving. Hi Fraser, glad to have you with us. Harry Poppins getting a little bit out of sorts there, but he's managed to stay in front. He's keeping a tighter line, and he's starting to defend. We've seen, as Paul is all over the place, we have seen many races where it is very, very difficult to overtake on this track, and the key is to get in front and stay there, and that's exactly what Harry Poppins is doing. So it is now up to Paul to try and catch up with Harry Poppins and make the move now as they go through the final few turns and onto the start finish straight. This is where Paul will want to get into the slipstream as we ride on board with Paul, and if he can get into the slipstream and get on the inside of Harry Poppins for turn 1, which he's not going to do in this lap, into turn 1, try and get that car slowed down through the Senna S's. Careful on the power though, Paul, you don't want the back end of that car coming round, which it is renowned for doing. Onto the Retro Apostle straight down towards turn 4 for the second time. Harry Poppins leading the way at the minute into turn 4 and 5. Well, it is just one big turn, isn't it, really? So Paul just keeping his cool. He's just got to sit behind Harry Poppins, hope that he makes a mistake. Harry Poppins on the other end has just got to defend, keep it nice and tight, take the inside line, don't give Paul anything to have a look at. Around turn 8 they go. Harry Poppins keeping it nice and tight. Oh, Paul getting very up close and personal as they go through turn. Oh, Paul's onto the grass. Paul is onto the grass. Well, what a fantastic recovery from Paul. I thought that was it, race over, he'd gone, but he's managed to get him back onto the grass, onto the track very quickly, and he is still up and running, and he is still in this fight. We have seen many of the guys go off and not come back, but Paul got back onto the track really quickly there, so he is still in this fight. I can't see what the distance is between the two in seconds, but I would say there is a good 2.5 seconds gap between them, and I'm trying to count it down as he goes past the sign. So Paul got it all to do at the minute. Harry Poppins, all he's got to do really is keep it nice, tight and simple as we go through the centre S's then for the third time. Remember, this is only a 5-lap sprint race. Both of the cars exactly the same, both got the same tyres on. So it is down to the skill of the driver as Harry Poppins takes us down towards turn 4 and 5 again, keeping things nice and tight. Paul, I think he's gaining very, very slightly. He's pushing and pushing and pushing. Harry Poppins with the fastest lap of 1:33.3. So at the minute, all Harry Poppins has got to do is keep his cool, keep that car on the grey stuff. Paul, on the other hand, he can start taking a few risks now. There is only 2 places up for grabs in this race, and you don't want to be in the second one. So Paul can start flying caution to the wind, take a few risks, try and get a little bit closer to Harry Poppins. Paul's the one that's got all the work to do. All Harry Poppins has to do really is just stay calm and stay in front. Paul not close enough to get into the slipstream as they go around these final few turns and onto the start finish straight. So Harry Poppins is still maintaining that lead. Paul still, and he's picked up a 1 second penalty. Well, Paul did not need that. As we go into lap 4, a 1 second penalty is not what Paul wanted. Now Harry Poppins, he may be able to see that in his mirrors, and I'm sure he will have a secret little smile on his face as we go into turn 4 and 5 for the 4th time. So Harry Poppins, really, this race is there for him to lose. He just has to keep it straight. Paul, on the other hand, well, he might as well go for it now, eh? Serves his 1 second penalty. Now the penalty zone is just after turn 12 at Junkow, and you are starting to go up the hill, so you're not only climbing up the hill, but you've got to try and get the power down as well. So that is so unlucky for Paul, and you can see the gap between the two of them as Harry Poppins, well, he's really pushing track limits, isn't he? He's out in front, he's got a good 2-3 second lead, and I really don't think he needs to be messing about with the curbs that much. We're on lap 4, he's just coming up now to turn 12, and this is where Paul will be serving his penalty as Harry Poppins goes through there nice and simple. Paul, who is gaining, but bang, brakes are on 1 second, and then he's got to try and get back up to speed again, and all the while Harry Poppins is just scampering away off into the distance. So as they go across the start finish line to start the final lap, Harry Poppins out in front, good, well, I would say probably 3, maybe even 4 seconds in front of Paul. As Paul comes, he's gone off track again. He really is pushing hard, isn't he? And why not? I don't blame him. He's got to throw everything he can at this race and hope, and fingers crossed, that Harry Poppins makes a mistake. Harry Poppins, though, keeping it nice and simple now. He knows all he's got to do is just bring that car back, and this race is his. He doesn't have to do anything silly. Paul, on the other hand, well, I think it's just a little bit too late now. The only thing he can hope for is that Harry Poppins makes a mistake and bins it, as Harry Poppins going around these final few turns around up to turn 12, sorry. So Harry Poppins through John Cow, he's only got what, 3 turns to go, 13, 14 and 15, and he will be staring at the checkered flag. So a great race from him. Unlucky for Paul, just 1 or 2 mistakes has cost him that one, and the 1 second penalty I think was the final nail that's seen him off. So well done to Harry Poppins, great win for him, commiserations to Paul. So that was the first of the replays. I am now going to go and see if I can find the second one, which is Harry Poppins against Osman. So let's bring that one up. Put a like on. We always put a like on, don't we? We always put a like on when somebody saves it. Why not? They've made the effort to save it. So we are off to France, and we've gone all posh today, so it's not Alsace village, it's Alsace village, and that's exactly where we are. We are in the Dodge Viper, as you can see. Now I'm just going to pause it while we get all the settings up, and we have in the red and white Viper we have Osman from League of Champions, and in the red and white Viper, well, it's just showing the same one, isn't it? Harry Poppins. No, Harry Poppins is... I can't see who's in what. I think Osman's in the red and white, and I think Harry Poppins is in the... Is it the martini? It looks like a martini. So, guys lined up. They've been out, as usual, couple of laps. Osman has put himself on pole position, with Harry Poppins just sitting in second. So we are in the Dodge Viper, and we are around Alsace village. Let's get this one underway. Wait for the klaxon to sound, and away they go. Osman off to a good start, but Harry Poppins, he didn't mess about either, did he? Both around turn 1. Now this is a fictional track. It is 3.3 miles long with 17 turns, so these guys have got their work cut out for them as they go up the hill towards turn 2 and then into turn 3. Now turn 3 is a really tight right hand hairpin, and we all know how difficult the Viper is to drive on a normal track, but you stick this many corners and turny bits in it and it becomes a proper handful. But Osman seems to be coping well at the minute as he leads Harry Poppins down towards turn 5 and then straight into turn 6. More a kink in the road than a turn, but Harry Poppins just wants to sit behind Osman for the minute. So we'll jump on board with Harry Poppins as we go around turn 7. Easing the throttle through that turn and then into turn 8. Now this is a banked right-hander, long sweeping right-hander, and then we come up to the trickiest turn on the entire track. You go through turn 9 and then you've got to start braking as you go into turn 10, just coming up now, which will then help you get around turn 11, which is this really tight right-hander. Both guys doing a great job as they go through there into turn 11 up the hill, and then just as you hit the crest you go through under the little bridge bit and then down the other side into the chicane section, and turns 14, 15, 16 and then 17 is the final turn, and then back onto the start finish straight. And it looks like Osman is starting to just pull away from Harry Poppins. Osman just managing to open up a little bit of a gap as he goes around turn 1 and starts on up the hill, and we can just see there Harry Poppins, I would say there's a couple of seconds, maybe 3 seconds gap, I'm not sure. As this is a replay, we haven't got the time up in the top left, so we're having to guess at it. But Osman doing a good job so far. This is only a 5-lap race. We're on lap 2, and Osman really... Well, he's really got to grips with this car, hasn't he? Considering there's only 11 miles on the clock, so it is brand new out of the box. Harry Poppins, he's done a couple of 100 miles in this one, but it's not helping him at the minute. Great looking livery though. We'll give him that one. So Hairy Poppins playing catch up at the minute. He's going to have to start taking a few risks, I think. As we saw there, kicking up a little bit of dust, trying to use every inch of the track. Into turn 8 we go, this sweeping right-hander. Just cut a little bit of turn 9. Into turn 10, and then it's hard on the brakes, which will help you then get around turn 11. Osman just up ahead. Osman with the fastest lap so far, 157.4, you can see. And Hairy Poppins, his last lap was a 159, so a couple of seconds adrift at the minute. As Osman goes around turn 17 onto the start finish straight across the line to start lap 3, and that time now down to 152.8. Hairy Poppins still 2 seconds, almost exactly 2 seconds on a 154. So Osman really is starting to stretch his legs now and looks to have this one in the bag. He's just got to concentrate. Oh, just as I say that, he decides to do a bit of showboating and drift around the corner. Well held though, Osman. That could have been a disaster. I'm sure that's a bit of a wake-up call for him, as Hairy Poppins just continues on his way, and that's exactly what he's hoping for. But Osman makes a mistake. Now Osman, I'm sure he will be telling himself, come on, calm down. It was Rufus saying great drift. Yes, I thought it was as well, but it's not what you want to be doing in this kind of race. You want to be taking it nice and easy, as I'm sure Osman will be thinking, but thinking it and doing it is something completely different. He's a racer, and he will just want to put up a good show and have a good race. As he goes around turn 11, keeping it nice and easy there. Hairy Poppins, well, he's not that far behind now, is he? So if Osman keeps showboating, oh, and he's got himself on the grass as well, that's not going to help. Dirty tyres, he's going to have to take his time through these final few turns. Very technical part of the track, this. It's like it's a right, a left, a right, a left. Very easy to clip that inside barrier as well, the black and white one, but Osman's got through, and you can see he lost quite a bit of time, just over a second on that last lap through that drifting. Hairy Poppins as well, also down on his time, so a slower lap for both of them, but we're on lap 4 of 5. I mean, it's although this is a fictional track, it'd be oh, Vodka Rob, good evening, how are you, sir? Hope you're well, hope you're looking forward to some good racing tonight. I was just saying, this is a fictional track, but wouldn't it be great if it was real? Fantastic scenery. As Osman takes us around turn 4 and then into turn 5. Hairy Poppins, he's still going. You never know in these races. Vodka Rob saying he's not too bad. Good. And me, I'm very well, always very well. It's everybody else, mate. But I am fantastic, and yeah, looking forward to what we've got coming up race-wise. I'll go through the card very shortly. And we're just going to watch these guys. Now, for those that don't know, this is a replay. This isn't live. These guys ran these races. I can't remember now. It's either Tuesday or Thursday. As we see Osman climb the hill over the top and then back down the other side into the chicane section, and turns 14, 15, 16 and 17, being very careful not to hit that black and white barrier on the right hand side. Hairy Poppins just entering that section now, so Osman has just streaked ahead. I think Hairy Poppins has resigned himself to second unless Osman makes a mistake, and it is possible, especially on this track. Now, we saw Osman get a little bit out of shape earlier on as he drifted around one of the corners, and it's possible it can happen again unless he's had a bit of a word with himself and said, look, come on, take your time, let's just win the race. Now is not the time for showboating. But he doesn't he has slowed down a little bit, not much, but he has slowed down a little bit. You can see he's got the fastest lap, lap 2 at 1:52.8 for Osman. Harry Poppins, his fastest lap is a 54.8, so he's almost 2 seconds adrift of Osman. So Osman settled into this Viper very quickly. So on the final lap then, around turn 8, you've never driven this one, Vodka Robson. Wow, this is actually, it's a great track. I like this one, Rob. I do. It's a tricky, very tricky track, but it's a good track. It's one I think you need to get on and have a go at. As Osman goes up the hill for the final time, we actually raced this one on Wednesday in the Beetle, so if you want to see some fantastic racing, then have a watch of that. And Ruth was saying looking forward to getting smashed by Bailey. Well, you never know, mate, you never know. Stranger things have happened. As Osman comes around the final turn and across the start finish line, a great race for Osman, led from the start. Only, I was going to say never put a foot wrong, but Vodka Rob do drive yet. Well done, Harry Poppins, across the line to take second. Well, maybe you need to get out there, Rob, and especially on this track. So that was the second replay. So we are now going to come out of there, and we are now going to try and log into Osman's lobby. Actually, it should be open now. So I'm going to go across here and see how long this takes me to get in here. While we're just waiting for all of this to load up, I shall tell you what we've got coming up. So in lobby 2, we've just watched the 2 replays from midweek. So the live races, we have got Grasshopper from League of Champions against Brian Moncani from League 1. We've also got That's Life from League 4 against J46 Dyson of League 1. We have got Bailey from League of Champions against Ruthless Rufus from League 2. Now, for those that don't know, Rufus actually did 26 laps of the Nürburgring yesterday, so a very brave man, and that's on his YouTube channel if you want to go and have a look at that. He's up against Bailey. And then we've got Inca Holmes from League 1 against the winner of Bailey and Rufus. And our final race is Smith or Idle Gaming against Derg. Now, obviously, all of this is subject to change. Now, my name's flashing up there, so I'm sure they will see that I have just entered. I'm going to go to... No, I'm not going to go to spectate, because there's obviously nobody there. I should give them a little message. And we'll show them the message so that they know that I'm here and we are live and we are ready to go. And I can't do any spectating because nobody's on track. So, as you can see, we're at the Red Bull Ring at the minute. That is not where we are racing. Now, we've got Inky and Derg in the chat, so it may have things may have changed, and it may be no, Inky's not up against Derg, is he? So we may just be waiting for some of the others to join. So, as I say, as far as live races go, we've got Grasshopper against Brian, we've got That's Life against Dyson, Bailey against Ruthless, Inca Holmes against the winner of Bailey and Rufus, and then we've got the winner of Smith v Idle, which is taking place in lobby 1, against Derg. Now, if you do want to see what's going on in lobby 1, you need to head over to Thingamajig's racing channel. He's actually covering League 1 while I do League 2. I'm just sorting all of my tracks out, and I've had a message, so I'm just going to have a quick read of the messages just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. No, nothing to do with me. So we're just waiting on drivers. Yeah, Doug just says we're waiting on drivers. Are we always waiting on drivers? Of course we are, because as the drivers make their way onto the tracks, they get mobbed by fans, and they have to sign autographs and take pictures and so on. You know what it's like. And the guys just want to get in, get changed, and get out on track. But the fans don't let them. And you know, it's the fans that make the racing. So you have to give a little bit of time for that. Now I can see that That's Life has joined. So really, I think we want Grasshopper and Brian Carney, really. But they, as I say, they may be out taking pictures with their fans. They could be in the garage tinkering with the cars, whatever the car may be, because the guys don't know until they're actually told. Well, Brian Carney's here. We can see he's just joined. Now I think you've got time to go and grab yourself a big glass of Dubby, and like I said earlier, you better switch that aircon on, because it is going to get hot in here. With the racing we've got coming up, we've got some fantastic drivers. Grasshopper, well, DJ, we all know he's the alien of the group, very quick. Brian Carney, he doesn't mess about either, so that is going to be a fantastic race. I'm really looking forward to that one. That's Life against Dyson, very evenly matched there again. That is going to be another fantastic race. Bailey and Ruthless, well, I think that's the one that people want to see. Bailey from League of Champions, one of the quickest drivers in URL. Without a doubt, he's definitely up there in amongst the top guys, against Ruthless, who just seems to get better and better and better and better. And for those that missed it, as I've mentioned already, Ruthless did do 26 laps. He must be mad. He did 26 laps of the Nürburgring 24-hour layout yesterday. I think he spent about 4 hours doing it. Absolute nutcase. But he did it. What a great effort that was. And Ruthless from League 2. We've got Inca Holmes, another very, very quick guy from League 1. And then in the final race, we've got Idle 4 Gaming. Now, a race with Idle 4 Gaming on a Wednesday in the Beetle, and he is quick. He just disappears off into the sunset once a race starts, and he's up against Derg. Well, we all know Derg. We all love Derg. Everybody needs a Derg, and we've got a special one. He's the guy that's been organising all of this. He's been organising all the races and time slots and trying to get people together, etc. So we have to say a massive thank you to Derg for everything he does. I also want to say thank you, while I've got the opportunity, while I'm saying thank you, I want to say thank you to Osman for hosting Lobby 2 and letting us join, and he's doing his bit. And Vodka Rob, there's no way I could do that long at the Nord. I don't think I could, mate. I really don't think I could, but Rufus did it. It's all on his YouTube channel. If you want to have a watch, you head over there and have a watch. So yes, as I was saying, thank you to Osman, and also thank you to Grahamad Ali, because he's hosting Lobby 1 as well. So even when the guys aren't racing, they're busy and away in the background and getting these things organised. So we can see a few people have managed to fight their way past the crowd and onto trackside, or at least in the pit lane anyway. Oh, let's have a look. Brian, he's out having a practice in a BMW. Maybe he's just taking one of the fans round or something like that, just to show them the track. I don't believe this is the track. It might be, but I don't believe it is the track that they will be racing on. And it looks like the lobby's been reset. No, there we go. We are at Sardinia on track A. And the guys have just been told that, and they've just been told the car as well, so they've got to go off and either buy it if they haven't already bought it, or grab it from the garage. It will be out the back there somewhere with a cover on it, along with a few other cars, so they don't know which one they were going to be in. So we're just waiting. Well, I don't think it's this one. Fantastic looking car, isn't it? What's that? Is it the Jag? I'm not sure. Fantastic looking car, but I'm pretty sure it's not that one that they're going to be racing in. It would be pretty cool if it was. Let's get some of these options up. No, Brian's back in again, so he's been told you're in the wrong car. So we should have, first up will be a Grasshopper against Brian Moncani. Now we've got Brian Moncani is he's in the pit lane. We're just waiting for Grasshopper now. Are the Grasshoppers talking to fans, or he's gone toilet? We don't know. I'm not being told anything yet. So we're just waiting for Grasshopper, or we're waiting for the stewards, i.e. Dirk, to jiggle things around a little bit. So it looks like it could be That's Life and Dyson. They're both in the Atenza, the Group 3 Atenza. So it may be well be that it is That's Life and Dyson that are going to race now, as they both come out onto track just to get a feel for the car. So for those that don't know the format, the guys are told the track and the car just before they start racing. They're given 2 laps. They're given an out lap and then a fast lap to get used to the car. The fast lap determines their grid position, and then we are racing. So you're really not given much time or notice. Now Dyson, although he's only done 12 miles on that car, it's already got a great looking livery on it. That's Life. Well, it looks like that one looks like, well, he's only got 1 mile, so that is a fresh off of the production line for That's Life. So he's got to run that car in, hasn't he? So this is an out lap for both of them. This is a very tricky track as well for people that play the game regularly and do the grinding. If you know, you know. I'm not going to explain it, but Sardinia is one of the grinding tracks. So the guys should be familiar with them. I mean, it doesn't make it any easier. It is a tricky track. It is fictional. Sardinia Road Track A in Italy. Or supposed to be in Italy, so it's fictional. Just over 3 miles long and 15 turns. Again, no track names because it's fictional, so I sort of made a couple up myself, which we will talk about as we go along. And fantastic scenery though, isn't it? As That's Life starts his fast lap, and Dyson joins him on his fast lap as well now. And Dyson, well, he looks like he knows his way around this track and that car. The way he's throwing it about. As That's Life goes through turns 4 and 5. Now he heads down towards turn 6, which I call his church corner. Yeah, I'm the same as you, Rob. I do Sardinia Le Mans. Yeah, Tokyo one is just a pain in the arse with the rain. Although I did have a setup for the, is it the Vision Jag? Ashton, sorry, the Vision Ashton or something, and it just made that so easy to do the Tokyo, but yeah, I don't bother with that one. I like the Le Mans one. So That's Life around turn 9. I like to call that one Crash Corner for obvious reasons. Through turn 13 as they head down towards turn 14, the pointy bit, and then it is just a couple of more turns through the final turn. and down the hill, across the line, and well, Ninky Noo's on track as well. So wow, it's going to be a three-way battle, is it? So That's Life and Dyson, they've both done their quick Le Mans in the WRXB. Well, do you? I tend to use the Aston Martin, but I think everybody's got their own favourite car for the grinding. I use a tuned or detuned Aston Martin on the Le Mans. So I think Ninky Noo will be asked to vacate the track, and there we go. Dyson and That's Life, they're the ones that are going to be racing. So we are just waiting for them to get put on the grid, and this is usually where I manage to miss them because I'm too busy doing something else and I forget to click on spectate. So I will do my absolute best. As Ninky Noo says sorry, I'm sure that sorry is he's in the wrong lobby altogether. Never mind, bit of practice, Ninky Noo's nothing wrong with that. So Dyson and That's Life just waiting for the race to begin. They're going to get put in position on their grid positions, and there we go. So That's Life got the quicker lap and is in pole position. I should have kept note of their lap times, really, shouldn't I? But never mind. So That's Life then against Dyson. Dyson in the yellow green Atenza with That's Life in the red Sky Active Atenza, and they are away for 5 laps around Sardinia in Italy, and That's Life off to a flyer and gets his nose in front, but Dyson is actually stuck to his boot as they head down towards turn 1. Both through there very successfully. Very easy to drift out there onto the gravel, but Dyson is putting up a road fight and gets himself on the inside, and he goes into P1, and That's Life had to slot in behind him, but That's Life is fighting back as he has a look up the inside as they come into turn 4 and 5, and That's Life manages to get himself in front again. So these two swapping and changing all the way down towards turn 6 and Church Corner, and it is That's Life that gets there first. Dyson, though, he's not letting him get away. He's actually stuck to his bumper. Let's jump on board with Dyson as we go up the hill. But the defending needed, but he's now side by side through turn 8 and down the hill towards turn 9. And they are still side by side, although Dyson has the inside line. Let's jump out of the cars, and Dyson manages to stay in front through turn 10 and 11. Dyson just leading from That's Life. What a fantastic start to the live racing. You can see there is a half a second between the two of them. Down they go. That's Life just getting some wheels on the grass. That's going to slow him down just a little bit. Into turn 14 they go. Dyson still out in front. That's Life just being very careful. He's got dirty tyres. Remember, he did go off onto the grass as they go through the final turn. Onto the start finish straight. Oh, That's Life kicking up a little bit more dust. Now Dyson has managed to get himself a second ahead of That's Life, so he's giving himself a little bit of breathing space, but That's Life is going to push and do everything he can to get back onto the back of Dyson, being very careful not to go onto the gravel as they go through turn 2 and then 3 up towards turn 4 for the second time of this 5-lap race. Now That's Life has really... Oh, as Dyson goes flying around that corner. That was a fantastic skid. And he still managed to stay in front and got himself back up to a second in front. Now That's Life did drag it back to about half a second, but Dyson has managed to just pull away despite sliding around the chicane section. So up the hill they go. Dyson still out in front through turn 8. Then he'll start back on down the hill to turn 9. Dyson doesn't need to defend at the minute. Nice and safely around turn 9. That's Life, he's still there. He's still within touching distance of Dyson. Remember, these races are never over until you cross the line, and we have seen that so many times. That's Life has just got to stick at it. He's not giving this fight up. The time now is 1 2.4 seconds distance between the two of them. That's Life, oh, and That's Life is pushing, and he has every right to push as well. Get rid of that, let's see what they're doing. So That's Life, well, he's just coming up to 2 seconds adrift now, but he really needs to push and take some risks. Dyson doing a fantastic job, just needs to go about his business, stay calm. He will be constantly looking in the mirror, we know that. He has just got to keep it on the tarmac. That's Life, on the other hand, can't afford to start taking some risks. There is only 2 places up for grabs, and at the minute he is in second place, so he needs to throw a little bit more at that. Dyson starting to open up a decent lead now, just over 2 second gap between them. Jump on board with Dyson as we go around turn 6, or church corner as I call it. And if we look in the mirror there, we can just see That's Life, so he is about 2.5 seconds away. Back on board with That's Life, we can just see that little yellow dot up ahead. But That's Life has just got to keep it cool, keep going. You never know if Dyson makes a mistake, then That's Life will be in, or come out of there, so we can see the cars as they go. So That's Life, well, he's racking up the purple sectors as Dyson goes around turn 14, as That's Life just hits it now. Remember, the race is not over, anything can happen, and usually does, as Dyson goes around the final turn 15 and back onto the start finish straight and heads on down the hill towards turn 1 and gets another fast lap. A 1:41.5 then for Dyson. That's Life a 1:42.4, so he is a little bit slower than Dyson at the minute. They're on lap 4 of 5. Dyson just playing it nice and cool. We don't need any heroics. What a fantastic backdrop for a racetrack. Windmills aren't turning very much, are they? Mind you, beautiful blue skies. They've not got the weather we've got, have they? Bloody windmills have been going around like the clappers. So Dyson then looking comfortable at the minute, but just under 3.5 second lead. So That's Life. He's just got to hang in there. Maybe push a little bit harder. There's only what, a lap and a half to go, so I think he'd start throwing caution to the wind now, taking a few risks, cutting a few corners, and pray that Dyson makes a mistake, but that doesn't look very likely. Dyson keeping everything nice and tidy. He's now up to 4 seconds, and around turn 14, that's a corner where a lot of people tend to get the power down too early and the back end comes round, but both of these guys making it look easy. So Dyson then around turn 15 then across the start finish line to start the final lap. Another fast lap for Dyson, a 41.512. So he's not relaxing, is he? That's Life doing a 42.8 on his last lap. So Dyson is definitely quick around here. He's got a feel of the car a lot sooner. Don't need anything special now. He just needs to just bring the car home nice and easy. Bit of a battle right at the very beginning, and I thought these two were going to be going at it for the whole race, but once Dyson got into his stride and managed to pull a couple of seconds gap, a flash of the lights there, he's already celebrating. Well, you don't want to do that until you cross the line. We've seen many mistakes happen in the last few corners, but Dyson looking good so far. That's Life. Well, he's not really done anything wrong, has he? He's had a good race, and he's put in some decent laps. it's I think Dyson is just that little bit too quick. Maybe it's one of his favourite tracks. Maybe it's his favourite car. Who knows? Whatever it is, it's worked for him tonight. And Dyson is now going to come around turn 15 for the final time. He can see the flag being waved, the flash of the lights, and victory for Dyson. Well done to him, and that's life in second. He can hold his head high. That was a great race from the both of them, especially at the beginning, so well done to both. So let me just make a note of that. So it was Dyson, wasn't it? So I'm going to try and write it down for my own records. Records? Did I say records? So, well, we don't know who's up next because the car has been sort of mixed up a little bit with Grasshopper struggling with the fans, although it doesn't look like he's in the lobby. So it could well be Grasshopper against Brian Moncani now. So if you are quick, you can go to the toilet, go and grab a drink, grab your bag of snacks. But make sure you are back here pretty quick, because this is going to be a banger. So lobby being reset, and it looks like we're back in France at Alsace. And if you wasn't listening earlier, we've gone all posh today, and it's not Alsace, it's Alsace. So we've gone all posh today. That's if this is the track. We don't know, they could change it again. They do this too, so they like to keep us on our toes. As the commentators, myself and Ryan, we're told it could be any one of these tracks. So we're given about 4 or 5 tracks, and it could be any one of those. Just to confuse us. So I am pretty sure we are now looking at Grasshopper from League of Champions up against Brian Moncani, who I believe has been promoted to League 1 on a Sunday. I may be wrong there. But I do know Grasshopper is in the League of Champions. Grasshopper, of course, when he's not racing, he's a bush trimmer at an old people's home. Not many people knew that. We found that out quite a while ago, and thoroughly enjoys his work. And Brian Moncani from Belgium. He's I believe, a crane operator. Well, he says he's a crane operator. I think he actually works at a fairground, and he does those toy grabbers. I think he sits at the back of the machine and he operates the little claw thing. So I'm trying to go in and have a look and see who's out on track, and at the minute nobody is out on track. We do have in the pit lane, or in the briefing room at least, we do have Brian Moncani, and we do have Grasshopper. Inky's in there as well. So it's where the guys are just giving a rundown of the rules. We can see Brian Moncani, he's in the Viper, a very colourful one as well. Oh, and Grasshopper, he's in the Viper as well. So there we go. Wow, that is colourful, isn't it? I think the plan is for Brian Moncani is to blind Grasshopper with that livery. Oh, that's a fantastic livery, isn't it? Wow. Let's just get a look at this, shall we? Well, you're not going to miss that in a dark room, are you? Fantastic, absolute fantastic. Some work gone into that, isn't there? And then Grasshopper, he's a little bit more subtle. It looks like Gas Monkey, but looking good nevertheless. So the guys out there, then they get 2 laps, they get an out lap, then a fast lap, just to get used to the car and the track. And obviously the fast lap will determine their position on the grid. Grasshopper, we know, very quick, League of Champions. He does the Saturday, I think he does the Saturday races, and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and practically every race, and he wins most of them. So Grasshopper doesn't mess about, but then again, Brian Marconi is no slouch either. I think it'll come down to who knows this track better as they approach turn 11. Now, turn 11, for those that don't race this track on a regular basis, is an awful turn. It does catch a lot of people out, and it's very easy to go wide and into that black and white barrier there on the left, well, as left as the drivers look at it, and you have to start braking just as you sort of hitting turn 10 to enable you to get around turn 11 and safely. But we'll see how these guys get on with it in the Viper as well. Very tricky car to handle is the Viper. Well, I think it's a very tricky car to handle anyway, like most American muscle cars. As Brian Marconi starts his fast lap, and Grasshopper is off and running on his fast lap. So this should be a good battle between these two. It's a track where it's very easy to make a mistake on this track, and the slightest mistake will cost you the race, as we've seen many times. So this should be a good one. I wouldn't really want to call it at the minute. We know Grasshopper's quick, and I think on paper he's probably down as favourite for this one. But mistakes happen. Even aliens make mistakes. So I will try, if I can remember, I will try and actually make a note of the quickest lap around here. I've got a feeling we may have a couple of races around here. A few battle scars on that car of Brian's already, so he may have had a bit of a bump in his outlap, which is fine. If you're going to have a crash, do it then. Wayne G saying go Brian go. So both guys got some supporters. They're out there somewhere. So that is Brian Marconi. I hope nobody has to pit. Look, there's somebody's put a barrier across it. So that's Brian Marconi across the line with a 156, and Grasshopper with a 152. So there is quite a gap between the two. So this could be interesting. But as I say, the slightest mistake is all it takes. So the guys have pulled over. They don't carry on. They only do the 2 laps. So the guys have now pulled over. They're just waiting for Mr. Osman to reset the lobby, and there we go. So we have in pole position, we have the Grasshopper against Brian Marconi from Belgium. We are just waiting for the klaxon to go. I'm just going to make sure, yeah, we've got all the race options on, and away they go, and Grasshopper gets a good start. Brian Marconi just slots in immediately behind the Grasshopper as they go into turn 1 and start up the hill. 3.3 miles and 17 turns of French tarmac ahead of these guys as Grasshopper takes us up through turn 2. Brian Marconi just slotting in behind him. I think Brian's tactics will probably be just to stick with Grasshopper, try and put him under a bit of pressure and try and force a mistake from him. If he gets the opportunity, then he will go for it. Now, because of the amount of turns on this track, overtaking, it is a bit tricky. There are a few key spots, and that's one of them that we've just gone through. The turn between the track between turn 4 and 5 is one of them. You go around turn 5 into almost immediately into turn 6, and then down the hill into turn 7, this left-hander, and then you get another sort of overtaking opportunity before you get to turn 8, which is this banked sweeping right hand bend. Very easy to catch the grass on the left or the right if you're pushing too hard. And then as we go through turn 9, we come into turn 10, and this is where you really need to start slamming the brakes on to enable you to get around this sharp hairpin of turn 11. So Grasshopper still leading the way. Brian Marconi's not that far behind. He's about 1.4 seconds as they go up the hill through turn 12. Oh, as Brian gets on the grass. And he is going to have dirty tyres now as we go back down the other side and into the chicane section. And the next 4 turns, Brian has got to be very careful. And he's got through there as he goes through turn 17 onto the start finish straight. We have a 1.7 second gap between the two of them, but they are both still facing the right way and they are both still racing. And as I've said many times, mistakes can happen. Now let's just jump on board with Brian Marconi. I'm surprised he's not putting himself off with that Dayglow green colour on the wings of his car, but I think he was hoping it would put Grasshopper off. But Grasshopper keeping it nice and steady as Brian Marconi takes us around turn 4. He's just going to have to try and stay as close as he can to Grasshopper. He's maintaining that gap, about 1.7, well it's about 1.8 now, but he doesn't want to let Grasshopper get too far away. Oh, a bit of a twitch coming from Brian around turn 7 and then up towards turn 8. Just feathering that throttle through turn 8. He's now got 2-second gap to Grasshopper. Hard on the brakes to make this turn 11. Careful on the throttle again into turn 12 and then up the hill. And this is what it's like for the driver. This is the view the drivers get as they go under that arch and then down the hill into turn 14 and 15 and then 16 and 17 and then back onto the start finish straight and across the line. So at the minute Grasshopper doing everything he needs to do to stay in front. He's just keeping it nice and steady. Grasshopper with the fastest lap so far, 152.8. Brian is doing a 153.4. So not quite a second adrift, but he is behind at the minute. Quick swig of juice for me. Oh, that's nice. So Grasshopper then put in another purple sector. Seems very comfortable in this Viper, does Grasshopper. You look at it, he's only got 89 miles on the clock, so it's not like he spent a lot of time in it. Whereas Brian, well, he's got over 1,000 miles in his. But we knew that Grasshopper was quick. And Idle, good evening. Yes, hi mate, how are you? Hope you're all right down there in I think it's Bristol you're at. Hope you're all surviving the weather. You want to be in France? Look at that, lovely blue skies. As we see Brian Marconi trying to come to terms with the Viper and this Alsace track. Is now about 4.5 seconds adrift from Grasshopper. And Grasshopper just seems to be going from strength to strength. He will know the time difference, so he can start to ease off a little bit as he rounds the final turn and across the line to start lap 4 of 5. So a great run from Grasshopper so far. Idle saying, yeah, it was horrible, the wind and that down where they were, yeah. Seen it on the news, mate. We had it a bit windy where we are, but nothing like you guys had. We've had a few twigs blown across the street. So, We're just following Grasshopper and Brian Moncani around RSRT Village. The time now as well, 7 seconds adrift is Brian. He's unable to really answer Grasshopper, who is he's just going from strength to strength, isn't he? Looking very comfortable. 8.5 seconds. I think Brian has sort of given this one up. He just wants to nurse that car back. All he can hope for now is that Grasshopper makes a mistake and bins it, but when he's 9 seconds in front of you, even if he binned it, he may even have time to recover. Another purple sector for Grasshopper through turn 10, around turn 11, nice and easy. Well, he made that look easy, didn't he? This is a very tricky track and an even trickier car, so Brian can really keep his chin up. He's had a good run around here. As Grasshopper around the final turn, one more lap to go then for Grasshopper around turn 1. And off and running about 12 seconds ahead of Brian, as Brian just comes around turn 1 now. Maybe in a different car Brian would have put up a bit more of a fight. Maybe it's just the car he doesn't like, maybe it's the track. Not many people race this track. I actually quite like it, but I think it's one that's very overlooked. Maybe because of the amount of turns on it, but yeah, it's actually a really good track. So we're going to follow Grasshopper to the end. He's now 14 seconds ahead of Brian Moncani. So it doesn't look like he's easing up, does he? Lap 4 gave him his fastest lap, a 1:52.6, which in this car is a pretty quick lap. So up to turn 11 then for the final time for Grasshopper. Taking it nice and steady. Good race from him. Got a great start, got his nose in front and stayed there. Never really looked back, did he? Wasn't put under any pressure from Brian, so he could just concentrate on going about his business, and that's exactly what he's done. So around the final turn for Grasshopper and across the line for a great win from him. Brian Moncani's going to come and bring it in about 18-19 seconds behind, but as I've said, nothing to be ashamed of. It's a tricky track and an even trickier car, so well done to Brian. A good effort from him. So that was Grasshopper and Brian, and Grasshopper was the winner, wasn't he? Press the button, Mark. Okay, so up next, it could be the one we've all been waiting for. Bailey against Ruthless Rufus. Now, Ruthless is in the garage, or in the briefing room at least. And, well, there's a few of the guys in there now. Inky's in there, Smith's is in there, Dyson is still in there. Oh, and Bailey's in there as well. So, it could be Bailey and Rufus up next. Bailey from the League of Champions, one of the quickest drivers in URL, or certainly up there in the top split, against Ruthless Rufus, the guy who took on the Nürburgring 24-hour and did 26 laps yesterday. The guy is mad. But he did it, so this could be an interesting one, and it looks like we're back in Italy at Sardinia. That isn't necessarily the track. It's just the track that the lobby's been reset to. So, oh, it is. Yes, it is going to be the track, and they are in the Atenza, the GR3 Atenza. So that's Bailey and Rufus up next then. So let's have a look. So they are both just sitting there waiting for permission to go out and do their out lap and then their quick lap. So they only get 2 laps. They've only just been told, the car and the track. So we are waiting. It looks like Bailey's got some sort of livery on his car, and Rufus is using one straight out of the box. So they are just waiting to be told or given permission to go. Maybe they're having some fuel put in. You can see all the mechanics in the garage. They're all poised and ready for action. I don't like the look of them two in black. Oh, what's going on there then? But, yeah, I think they need to focus on something else. There we go. Yes, it all looks frenzied in there, doesn't it? Can we have a look round? I don't think we can have a look round, can we? No. So we're at Sardinia in Italy. It's another fictional track. It's just over 3 miles long, 15 turns, no track names. So I've made a couple up, as you do. So the guys are going out now to have their practice out lap. Let's get some information on screen, shall we? So yeah, the guys having their out lap. Bailey just taking his time. I think he wants to get a bit of distance between himself and Rufus, so that when they do their fast lap they're not getting in each other's way. Bailey just checking the indicators work. You don't have to tell us you're turning right, mate. Just do it. You're on a racetrack. There's nobody behind you. Nice looking car though, I must admit. Oh, you really don't want to be sticking it in the barrier that early. So Rufus, he's on his out lap. Oh, it looks like Bailey's gone back to the pits. So maybe he had a puncture. So maybe Bailey had a puncture and that's why he slammed into the barrier. But Rufus is out there. What's he got? 2 miles on the clock. So another brand new car for Rufus, as well as he sticks it into the barrier as well. You do need to test the barriers, obviously. And that's exactly what Rufus is doing. He's just testing the barriers to see how bouncy they are. As he goes through turn 15 then to complete his out lap. So as he crosses the start finish line, the clock will start to tick away, and that will be his fast lap to determine grid position. And there we go, we are off and running on our fast lap with Rufus down the hill to turn 1. Trying to avoid that gravel on the right, which he does so. Then through turns 2 and 3 up towards a sort of a big chicane section, which is turn 4 and 5. A left then a right. Ooh, kicking up a little bit of grass is Rufus through turn 7. Sorry, we're not up there yet, are we? We're only just going around Church Corner, which is turn 6. Look at me getting ahead of myself. And you can see why I call it Church Corner. So let's have a look at Bailey. Bailey's still on his out lap. So we'll stick with Rufus for a minute as Rufus comes down to turn 9. And around there safely. Up through turn 10, 11 and 12. and then into turn 13, this left-hander, and then down the hill then towards turn 14, or the pointy bit as I like to call it, and across the grass. Yeah, absolutely right, Phaser. The guys, when they slam into the barriers, they're checking that the nanobots are working, and the nanobots are what repair the cars when there's the damage. They don't have to come into the pit lane. The nanobots sort it out for them, which is great. As we see, Bailey is now on his fast lap as well. And just coming up to turn 9 goes Bailey. Now Rufus did a 1:45.2, so that's the target that Bailey will be aiming for, and he's already gone purple. Well, the timing's gone purple. Well, he might be purple for all I know. He could be holding his breath as he goes around some of these corners. Who knows? Around turn 14 then, just one more kink in the road for Bailey, and that will be his fast lap completed. Down the hill and across the line for a 1:42.4, so 2.7 seconds quicker on the fast lap than Rufus, but that doesn't mean anything. We have seen mistakes happen as Bailey carries on his way, but he will get kicked off in a minute. There we go, they are on the track. So Bailey in pole position with Ruthless just behind him in second around Sardinia for 5 laps. Wait for the klaxon and the lights to go out, and we are away, and they both get a great start actually as they head down the hill towards turn 1. Bailey is still in front, but Rufus got a great start, and Bailey's just in front as they get into turn 1, but Rufus is sticking with him, and he's glued himself to the bumper of Bailey's Atenza through turns 2 and 3. Up to turn 4 for the first time. Oh, Rufus just a little bit later on the brakes, or earlier, should I say, on the brakes, but Bailey still maintaining P1 as they start the climb. A little bit of gap starting to open up around Church Corner. They go, turn 6. Oh, and Rufus just get a little bit out of shape. I think he tried to get the power down too early. Bailey kept it nice and smooth, and that's the key to that turn. As they start on back down the hill now towards turn 9, hard on the brakes, very easy to go too deep into that turn and get onto the grass, and it looks like Rufus might have done that. No, he's okay, he is okay, and he's still there. The gap is 1.3 seconds, but that is nothing really. Both just really pushing track limits down towards turn 14 then. Bailey still out in front. Rufus playing catch up at the minute. Oh, I thought he'd gone the grass again, but no, he's managed to keep it on the track. So let's just jump on board with Rufus as we go through turn 15 and start on down the hill. He's not quite close enough to get in the slipstream of Bailey. I'm just looking at that clock on the left, and it is slowly creeping up, so maybe Rufus just needs to be that little bit later on the brakes, maybe cut that corner just a little bit more and take a few more risks as he plays catch up. But we've said it many times, one mistake is all it takes, and if Bailey makes a mistake, then Rufus could be in there. He's just got to keep it going in a straight line as Rufus. Nice and easy around turn 6, and then we start the climb through turn 7. Still climbing, and then back down the other side then towards turn 9. I like to call this one crash corner, because people tend to either hit that cut the wall on the left, or go too far and end up on the grass and the barrier on the right. But both of these guys making it look easy. Through turn 13. Oh, and Rufus just teasing that barrier. No, he is catching. He is managed to bring that time down a little bit. So Rufus doing a good job at the minute. Bailey out in front and keeping it nice and easy. I think Bailey's just, he doesn't want to take too many risks at the minute. And to be fair, he doesn't have to take the risk. He's the one leading. It's up to Rufus to take the risks and try and catch up. As the lead now extends to 1.9 seconds. Rufus is still there though. As Bailey takes us up to turn 4 and 5 for the third time in this 5-lap race. Don't really race in the Atenza myself much, so I don't really know what the car's like. I tried it once and didn't like it. Never went back. The guy slinging that helicopter around is very brave as well, isn't he? The guy's a nutter. So Bailey's still out in front, getting into his stride now. Although he's not got a gap I'm sure he wants. It's about 2 seconds, so Rufus is just staying there. He's just keeping a little bit of pressure on. Bailey can't totally relax. He's got to keep the concentration going, because 2 seconds is nothing. If you make a mistake, then the guy in second place is on to you. So Bailey just having to keep it nice and tight. And Rufus is doing a good job. He's still there. As they go through turn 15 then, to start lap 4. Another fast lap then for Bailey, a 1:42.1, and Rufus, his last lap was a 42.6, so there's not a lot in it. Rufus is there, he's keeping the pace. He's just waiting for Bailey to make a mistake, and unfortunately it doesn't look very likely. He's just got to keep it together as Rufus, so as Bailey. He's just keeping it on track, keeping it nice and simple, just going about his business. He will obviously keep looking in his mirror. He will know the time as well that he's got over Rufus. I'm sure he would like to see that time double, but as it stands, he's at 2.6, 2.7 seconds, so Rufus is still hanging in there. Ooh, Bailey don't want to be kicking up too much grass. You want to keep it on the tarmac. Rufus really should start taking some risks now. A fantastic run though for Ruthless Rufus. Bailey's looked in control though right from the off. Oh, I say that as he gets himself all in the grass. But yeah, Bailey, he's pretty much had this race under control. I think he's dictated the pace. The race has gone exactly how Bailey wanted it to go. Never really been put under pressure as we start the final lap. And Bailey clocks up yet another fast lap, a 42.1. So yeah, Bailey really has had this race all his own way. Rufus though, can hold his head high. He's had a fantastic run around Sardinia. He's not that far behind Bailey. Now remember, Bailey is up there in the top split of fast drivers, so Rufus is doing a cracking job. But they are on the last lap as they go up through turn 7 and 8 for the final time up the hill. and Bailey looks well and truly in control into turn 9. Nice and easy for Bailey. Final few turns for him then, and he will be sipping champagne. So 2 more turns for Bailey then to be declared the winner of this particular showdown. Fantastic race from both. And there's the checkered flag for Bailey. Do we get a flash of the lights? No, we don't. So Bailey takes the win. Rufus not that far behind, so fantastic race from him. Well done to both of them. But Bailey is the winner. So up next, who have we got? Let's have a look. Who have we got? We have got, it is either Inca Holmes against Bailey, or Smith or Idle for Gaming against Derg. So I'm just waiting for confirmation of that. I also, I don't know what the track is. It could be here. We could be back in France. We could be back in Brazil. We could be somewhere completely different. So we're just going to, it is going to be, it's Bailey against Inky. So Bailey has got to get out of the Atenza, a quick dash to the toilet, and time warp to wherever we're going. Where are we? Where are we going? Oh, it looks like we are in Italy at Monza. Wow. So he hasn't had to travel too far, has he? Just down the road from Sardinia to Monza. Now, what car are we in now? Now, I just saw very briefly there, Inky lined up in the Lancer. Now, I'm not sure it is the Lancer. We shall see. We shall see in a minute. But we are in Italy again. And we are at Monza. Now, is this the one with the chicken? Inky in the Lancer Evolution GR3. So Bailey's in that as well. So obviously that is the car of choice. So then we didn't know what the car was. So they are both in the Lancer Evolution. And oops, no, I don't want to join, do I? I want to watch. Stupid. So Inky's out there. It is with the chicane. There are a couple of chicanes, obviously, on this track. I agree, Osman. This is going to be a big race. Both very, very quick drivers. A little bit about the track: Autodromo Nacional Monza, or Monza as we like to call it. Just outside the city of Monza, north of Milan. Built in 1922. And it's the oldest track in Europe, or it was the oldest track in Europe. 3.6 miles, and there's 11 turns with the chicane, which is exactly what we have here. We have the track with the chicane. Now, there are 3 chicanes on this one. We have Rante, which is 4 and 5, turns 4 and 5. Then we've got Ascari, which is a bigger sort of chicane. That's at turns 8, 9 and 10. And then we've got the main chicane at turn 1 and 2. So 3 chicanes. It looks, if you tilt them up in a certain direction, actually looks like a gun, like a pistol. I think it does anyway. Let me know if you think it looks like something else. So Inky out on his outlap, and Bailey, well, we've just watched Bailey in the Atenza. Now he's had to jump into the Lancer Evolution. So busy night for Bailey as he comes to the end of his outlap and then starts his fast lap. Inky already on his fast lap, so this is revving up to be a fantastic battle. You want to get your glass of Dubby and switch the aircon on, and if you haven't got any, then I suggest you have a word with Eldridge Air Conditioning, because this is going to get heated. 5 laps around Monza with the chicane, well, with the 3 chicanes as I've already mentioned, both on their fast lap now. Ooh, Inky getting a bit twitchy as we go around turn 2. Sorry, 4 and 5 he went through there, got a little bit twitchy. That's the chicane that catches a lot of people out, to be fair. You get too early on the power as you exit that one, and you end up on the gravel on the left hand side. Bailey also on his fast lap. I always think that car looks too heavy to go quickly. There seems to be a lot of body kit on it, but quickly it goes. 157, 158 miles an hour there as Bailey takes us through Ascari. Oh, and Inky has spun it round, and well, he's doing donuts, isn't he? He's whoa. Well, there was nearly a bit of a pump there, so I'm guessing that Inky's going to start second on the grid as Bailey goes around Parabolica then to complete his fast lap, and Inky, I think he just got it all wrong coming out of Ascari, so that's basically his lap ruined, and it just shows you how easy it is to make a mistake. I'm sure Inky didn't do that on purpose, so I'm almost guessing then that Bailey will be starting first on the grid. Now, are they doing another lap, or is that it? I thought that was their 2 laps done there. Yeah, it must be Bailey slowing right down. Inky stopped. So Bailey did a 1:48.9, it looks like. So yeah, Bailey starting on pole position then. So 5 laps around Monza. Bailey against Inky. Have we got? Yes, we have. Just making sure we've got all the information up. And there's the klaxon, and we're all away. Oh, and Inky has got his hazards going and didn't really get off the starting line, did he? Now, what's happened there? I don't know. The gap is already up to nearly 1.4 seconds. Inky just did not get away off of the line. Now, Bailey has got his hazards flashing, so maybe they can have a restart. I'm not sure. We're just waiting to hear from the stewards to see what's happened. It really doesn't look... Well, they are racing. I was going to say it doesn't look like they're racing, but maybe they are. I'm not quite sure what's happened there. Whether Bailey slowed down to let Inky catch back up so they could have their start again, I don't know what happened there, and we'll wait to hear from the stewards. Oh, as Bailey gets all out of shape coming through turns 4 and 5 through Varante, and that is Bailey's race over. Now, I think we may have a restart because Inky has actually left. He's been beamed up. Well, that was a very quick race, and I can't tell you who won because nobody actually made it to the end. I'm guessing we are going to have a restart because at the beginning of that race, Inky just didn't get away. The hazards went on straight the way, so I'm not sure what happened. Maybe dropped his cigarette, or he spilt his coffee or something just before the start in the cockpit of that car. I don't know what happened. I get told nothing. I'm guessing it's going to be a restart. Oh, I think I need to go into spectator mode, don't I? Well, that would have been embarrassing, wouldn't it, eh? Found out on lap 3 that they were actually racing. So the guys are back with the pit crews. So I'm almost sure it is going to be a restart. I'm not quite sure what happened at the beginning of the race that should have been. But Inky just didn't get off the line. And Bailey shot off and then slowed right down. And then as they went through turn 4 and 5, the second chicane, it all went completely wrong, and Inky disappeared. So we're just waiting to see what's happening. Maybe there's a bit of a discussion taking place over the radio between the two of them. But both drivers just sat in their cars in the pit lane. So we may well be waiting for the lobby to be reset. Osman may be trying desperately to get something sorted. Get this race restarted. We knew this one was going to cause some fireworks, but we didn't realise it was going to be like this. We do have one more race after this. I believe we have one more race after this, and it is either Smith again, and it is either Smith or Idle 4 Gaming against our very own Derg. But we've got to get this one started and sorted out first. Well, we've got a black script. Right, we are back on track. We are back on track. Let's get some information up. So it is going to be a restart then. Let's see if they can both get off the line at the same time this time. Flash of the lights from Bailey to say all is okay. Inky in the white car. Bailey in the red and white. And yes, both drivers get a good, clean start. And we are away and down towards the chicane and turns 1 and 2. Inky just settling in behind Bailey. They need to take it nice and easy through here. So I think the first lap, maybe the first two, are going to be a little bit cagey. They are going to be sussing each other out as Bailey takes up the lead and goes around turn 3 up towards Verante and the second of the chicanes, and turns 4 and 5. A tricky chicane, to be fair. Too early on the power on the exit, and you will spin round, but both guys making that look very easy. Bailey still out in front then, into turn 6 through the curve de Lesmo. Inky just settling in behind as he takes turn 7. Then we start down the straight towards the Verante Ascari. Inky just losing a little bit of time, but he won't be too concerned. He's just got to get in that slipstream. If he can get, I think it's about another 10th closer, he can get into the slipstream as they go through Verante Ascari for the first time. And this is where it could all go wrong, as it did for Inky on his fast lap, but he's managed to keep it going in a straight line this time. Down the straight towards Parabolica for the first time. Bailey out in front, hard on the brakes, and around this right hander, this sweeping long hairpin turn that goes on forever as they head towards the start finish line. And Bailey in front as they start lap 2 of 5. Now, we said at the beginning, didn't we, that we think it was going to be a cagey start. Inky just settling in behind Bailey, trying to stay in the slipstream. That car looks very twitchy under braking, doesn't it? The front end of Bailey's car flicking from side to side. Now, whether that was him doing that, or as I say, looking twitchy under braking. Let's come on board with Inky as we go around turn 3 up towards the second of the chicanes. Hard on the brakes and be careful on the exit. We don't want to be going over the gravel too much, do we? Both cars through there successfully into turn 6. Bailey still out in front. Inky just settling in behind, and he seems quite happy to sit there at the minute. He's just going to keep the pressure on Bailey. Hopefully he'll make a mistake. Maintaining that distance of about 7 to 8 tenths as they head down the Curva del Seraglio, it's called. My Italian is awful, isn't it? Into Ascari then. Inky's car getting very twitchy and getting a little bit of a slide on, but he kept it going. Oh, that's cost him a tenth. Down the straight then to Parabolica then. Bailey still leading. Inky seems quite happy to just sit there at the minute, although he is starting to lose a bit of time. Bailey is starting to pull away, so Inky really needs to get a move on and get back up into the slipstream of Bailey so he can put the pressure back on as we start lap 3. Into the chicane they go. You see what I mean about the front end of Bailey's car? It looks very twitchy. Maybe that's got something to do with the brake balance. I'm not sure. So lap 3 here at Monza. Bailey out in front, Inky just behind. It's 1.2 seconds, so he is starting to lose touch with Bailey. He needs to start to push. We are on lap 3. And, well, it looked like Inky was pushing there. He really clobbered that curve, didn't he? But Bailey starting to pull away, starting to get a little bit of breathing space. Through turn 7 they go. Onto the straight. Foot planted firmly on the noisy pedal all the way down to Ascari. The gap 1.7. As Bailey goes into Ascari. Very easy to get it wrong, but doesn't. Oh, Inky goes very wide and onto that AstroTurf. He's lucky to get away with that. Or was it just a piece of great driving? Whatever it was, it's cost him a couple of tenths again, and the gap now up to 2 seconds. So Inky will be conscious of that as they come up to the line, and he's going very wide again. Maybe he's starting to push now. 2 more laps to go, and if Inky wants to win this one, he really needs to start throwing caution to the wind. 2.8 seconds adrift from Bailey. Bailey keeping it nice and simple. Oh, as Inky, the back end comes round on him a little bit. It looks like Inky's not using traction control. Bailey has got the traction on, and it seems to be working for him. He seems to be able to keep that car under control a little bit more than Inky does. Oh, as they slam across those sausage curbs. The gap now just, well, just approaching 3.5 seconds, so we're on lap 4. I think it's Bailey's to lose. Inky just needs to stay within touching distance and hope that Bailey makes a mistake. As we're coming down to Ascari for the 4th time. Bailey through there successfully. Inky, yeah, he's through. He's got to start pushing more. He's got to start pushing more. He's at 3.5 seconds. Let's just jump on board with Bailey as we're watching through this final lap. As he exits Parabolica, heads towards the start-finish line. And we are now on the final lap of this race, and we can just see Inky in the background. So Bailey, all he's got to do really is just keep it on the tarmac, nice and easy. He doesn't need to do anything silly. He's already got the fastest lap, so there's no reason to try and break that one, because that is when the mistakes start to creep in. He's got a 4-second gap now back to Inky, who, if we look behind, where is he? Where is he? There, he's just around the corner as Bailey hits the second of the chicanes. He's through there successfully, so really now Bailey has just got to bring this one home. Around turn 6, the gap just over 4 seconds, and unless Bailey makes a mistake, then this is his race. Not put a foot wrong, really, as Bailey. Unfortunately for Inky, a couple of mistakes has cost him. And you can see he's pushing. He did sort of leave the racing line a few times. He's done it again there. He's gone very wide, got himself onto the AstroTurf. But Bailey kept it nice and clean around Parabolica for the final time. And it looks like it's in the bag for Bailey. A great win from him, second one of the night. So that'll be 2 out of 3 wins for Bailey across the line. Well done to him. Inky across the line now. Good racing from those two guys, but Bailey just had the edge. So that was Bailey. And Vodka Rob saying small errors, but it's made the difference. Absolutely. It doesn't take much when you get to this point in the 1v1s. Everybody's very quick, and yeah, the slightest mistake is going to cost you the race. As we saw there, Bailey just kept it on the tarmac. He didn't go off. He didn't take any unnecessary risks. He kept it on the tarmac, kept the race in line, and kept it clean. And I think that was the difference. So up next, it looks like we have got Smith against Derg. And what track are we going? Where are we going now? The suspense is killing me. Where are we going? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Or genuinely don't know. I don't know. I don't know where we're going. We've still got Monza on screen. The blindfold, that's all the black is the blindfold. They put a blindfold on us. So we don't know where we're going. And that's what the black is. It's the blindfold. So we're just waiting for Osman to take us to wherever it is we're going. We may well be back at Monza. I don't know. But we have Smith against Derg. This will be a cracking race. This will be a cracking race. Very evenly matched, I think, are Smith and Derg. Although, if you ask either one of them, they'll both say they are quicker than the other. Oh no, what's happened now? The host has ended the game. Wow. Ruthless enjoyed my race, did better than I thought I would. Shows how much better I'm getting. Absolutely, Ruthless. You had a fantastic race. Now we really have got the blindfold on, haven't we? Wow, what is going on here? Don't tell me it's all gone completely Pete Tong. Everything's gone wrong. It's all going wrong. It's all going wrong. Right up to the last race. I'm going to check my messages and see what's going. It's all gone completely to doggy do. They've slung this blindfold on us. I'm pressing all the buttons and nothing is happening here. So I don't know what's going on. I'm hoping somebody will tell us something very, very soon. And I'm just going to drop a message. I don't know if it's my end or Osman's. Well, what is happening? What is happening? Come on, tell me. Well, apparently there's a new lobby being set up, but I can't actually see anything, so I'm not sure. I'm pressing all these buttons. And not a lot is happening. So I might have to message them. I think I'm going to have to reset things, aren't I? So sorry if you have tuned in to watch Smith v Derg. I want to watch it as much as you guys do. I'm desperately sending messages. I've got a feeling I'm going to have to restart everything. Oh no, I've been told by Osman that that's what he's got. He's got a... Oh, we are going to have to reset. So I'm going to have to reset, which will probably mean we're going to have to end this broadcast and start again. So I'm going to do that. So if you were watching, come back in a minute. Please come back in a minute.